14 starters return for Timmy Chang's fourth season, leading his alma mater. Chang, by the way, the third most tenured head coach in the Mountain West right now, and he's kind enough to join us here on the set at Mountain West Football Media Days, presented by Old Trapper. Carly Drew, Jesse Kurtz, and Timmy Chang here joining you live from Las Vegas. Coach, third longest tenured coach. I mean, you're a vet these days now.
It didn't seem that way 4 years ago. You know, I was talking to our 1420 ESPN group, and you know, they were just telling me how I looked in year one to this year now, and how much more comfortable. And I asked them, did I really look that bad in year one? And, but time flies, and we had some great coaches in the Mountain West,
yep.
and you know, with Jeff Tedford and Coach Craig Bowles and Brady Hoke, and you know, the list goes on. Brent Brennan, and so just being here with these guys, it's pretty special, pretty remarkable to see where we're all at, and then we're getting ready to compete in this competitive Mountain West Conference.
Nothing more special than leading your alma mater, a place that you're a multi-record holder for the Rainbow Warriors. You lead the team 5-7 last year, right on the cusp of being bowl eligible. In what ways do you expect that you'll continue that upward trajectory? And if that's the case, bowl eligibility this year?
Yeah, we think so. You know, goals are pretty high, you know, in the state of Hawaii. And so, you know, being 5-7 last year, letting 3 get away from us in 3-point losses and less, you know, those are tough, but it raises for experience and going through adversity and those type of things and learning from them. And so I think my guys, and especially my 2 guys that came on the show yesterday, got to talk about those things that we've gone through, and things that have been implemented, and how we're moving and what we're moving towards, and just building. It's been a great spring. It's been the best spring since I've been here so far, and building the roster, building the culture, but also the understanding and experience that, you know, whether they're good or bad, bringing that into what we're about to embark on this season.
Preseason poll was predicted yesterday. We're getting a look at that on screen. You guys run around 7. Full disclosure, I was a little bit shocked. I have you a little bit higher. And with what you come back with, and the spirit with which your guys talked about this team, I think that this team has a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, the polls don't really mean much. It's how your team is trending in the weeks leading into. You know, what do you have going into those weeks? How is your guys playing? How are they feeling? Where's their mindset at? Because what we do know, being in the Mountain West for a number of years, I've been since Nevada. I've been in this Mountain West nine seasons now. You gotta get talent that's able to play and execute in this conference, right? If they can't play at this high level of Mountain West football, then they probably can't play in this conference, and they got to move on. The other thing is that, you know, your mindset and how they trend and where they're going, that all plays in a factor, because these games are so close. You know, we walk into these meetings, like we had our 3:30 meeting yesterday, and you're just kind of sitting around the room and looking at the guys, and every year for 3 years I've done it, and you're just looking at the guys, and it's like, man, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. You know, these are going to be tough battles. You know, I was looking at the six teams picked in front of us. We're at Colorado. We're at Colorado State. We're at Air Force. We're at San Jose State. And you know, Fresno comes to us. You know, that rounds up the top 7 right there. And so, you know, you got to win on the road. And it's always tough. You know, it's teams. You know, they complain about coming to us, and we got to go to them. And so it works both ways. But we love what we have, and we just got to go out there and go play.
Coach, we're taking a look at the schedule that's up right now. When you look at what's to come in these next few months, which out of these games gets you the most excited?
Yeah, let's start with the first one. That Stanford game, week 0. Prime time, CBS. I don't think it gets any better than that, especially for Hawaii and the Mountain West football. You know, they're looking to build their program and their culture. You know, hiring Coach Frank, as well as you know, Andrew Luck coming back to his alma mater. You know, same situation. And so I'm pretty excited about that game. And so it'll be a full sold-out crowd at Aloha Stadium. 1:30 kickoff, and so 7:30 Eastern. And then we go to Arizona. We face a foe and a familiar foe, and Coach Brennan. And then we lost to Sam Houston last year on the road, and now we get them back to us. Portland State will be also a good test. That will round out 3 home games in the first 4. Fresno State comes to us as well. That'll kick off our Mountain West season. Yeah. And then, again, an all-important game at Air Force for the first 6 games. Then we have, and because of week 0 and the way it plays out, we go 2 games with a bye, 2 games with a bye, 2 games with a bye. Always a home and away. And you can see how, from Fresno State down, how important all those conference games are to reach our goals. And so you got to get sizzling right around there, but you got to get through those first 4 games with Stanford, tough Arizona, tough Sam Houston and a new coach, and then Portland State.
Mm-hmm. We'll keep the schedule up there. Our presenting sponsor, Old Trapper, wants to know from you, Coach, with some beef jerky as your prize. Let's go with your non-conference. First 4, which is the beefiest opponent, however you define beefiest, with your prize, your beef jerky? Who's your beefiest opponent in that non-conference schedule?
It's got to be Stanford, because they're, 2 tight end sets, 11 personnel, 21 personnel, 13 personnel. Yeah. Some of those old Orange Bowl, Andrew Luck days, that's got to be the beef right there. And so, we expect them to be downhill on us.
Well, you need this for some nutrition to get ready for your beefy opponents as we continue to talk Rainbow Warrior football. But, yeah, we'll go with Stanford as your beefiest opponent here
there you
for
go.
The upcoming season.
Thanks to our friends
Thanks to our friends at Old Trapper.
Yes, and Coach, I want to tell you, Pofele and Jemai, when in our show open, we had a picture, or video rather, of Aloha Stadium, and they were kind of just sitting there reflecting, looking at the video of that stadium, so excited for what's to come this fall. Talk to me about the culture of Hawaii football, this university, and how just special it is, because we all feel it.
Yeah, it is special. It's one of the few programs, FBS programs, football programs in the country where you represent a whole state. Mm-hmm. And our state is representative of 8 islands. We're in the middle of the Pacific, one of the most isolated, if not the most isolated place in the world. And it's different. We represent a culture of people that are proud, strong, smart. They believe in their language. They believe in their dance. We believe in the land that has given us everything. So we start with respect in that locker room, because that's what the culture of Hawaii is all about, and the people are about. They're about respect for everything. And so from there, the players have to embrace that and understand that. And when they can start respecting each other, respecting themselves, respecting the little things, respecting the gratefulness of their locker room, their helmet, the field they play on, and all these other things. I mean, it's just a gratitude that they start to feel and have. Mm-hmm. And that can that kind of fosters and cultures into all the other different things that football encompasses. And so, football is our gladiator sport. It's our modern day gladiator sport. Our modern day gladiator sport where Hawaii people are proud. They're strong people. They're proud people, and they want to be represented well. And so, the guys get reminded all the time that we have the state on our backs, and we want to represent them well. And so, coming into this 4th year, what a tall task for us then. How excited we are to do that. I've done it as an 18-year-old and try to represent the state as best as I can. And now as a coach and as a husband, as a father, and as a man of faith, I get to do it again.
And you got some guys who have followed in your footsteps at the quarterback position. Mike Alahada was sensational at the end of the last year in his first start, 460-plus, 5 touchdowns. Got the quick release a la Dan Marino. You talk about a young guy with all the physical tools. You as a quarterback guru, what do you see out of this guy?
Special. Very special kid. Young man. He's just different. I don't know how to explain. When going through the recruiting process and getting to know him, he's one of a kind. And, I wanted to protect him last year and not burn his red shirt, so he'd have 4 more to go. And, just so happened, that last game of the season happened to be his 4th game, and he got to showcase the things that he's just constantly live, breathe, sleep, eat, football. And he's just a remarkable guy. his leadership, is exemplified. He has the team. His voice is strong, and we really do love him. And he has the respect of his teammates.
You bring in a quarterback coach that's very familiar with Hawaii football, Chad Kapanui, former Rainbow Warrior quarterback who coached Micah at Bishop Gorman right here in Las Vegas. Tell me about the reasoning with that move.
Yeah, Chad Kapanui was my classmate, as well as we graduated the same year. We competed against each other. We were in the same. When we got recruited, we were in the same quarterback room. We started as quarterbacks together, but he's a guy that is very familiar with our offense. His football knowledge of being a coach, offensive coordinator for a decade plus, and then also being able to coach Micah for his last 2 seasons, I think really helps our room. He understands Hawaii. He understands what football means to Hawaii, but he also understands how to get through to our guys.
And then at wide receiver, we had Pofele Ashlock here with us. He battled some injuries last season. He's feeling healthy and he told us yesterday how hungry he is to get back out on the field. What do you expect out of him this season?
Yeah, just leadership. He's grown so much. I mean, it's hard to say that he's going to be a junior. He's now coming into our 4th year with us, and just to watch him kind of that natural process of just watching him mature and grow and come into his own. I mean, he had a breakout freshman year. Last year, he got hit in the head a couple times. Was out a couple weeks, but I think just watching him play, his ability, his understanding of the offense, his playmaking ability. I mean, he is hard to guard. I mean, he's quick, he's fast-footed, and he creates separation. And so, fearless guy, and more important, he's a great human being.
Also a team leader at wide receiver, Nick Senecal. What do you expect out of him?
Yeah, big physical presence. Nick started to come on his own, especially with Pofele going down a little bit. Nick for us, he's a senior, but they came in at the same time. He started as a true freshman because we needed to add some depth. Even though he was younger, he still had the physical capability. You can see he's a big guy, 6'1", 6'2", almost 200 pounds. But he has the ability to catch the ball and run away from guys. And so Micah's got some targets that he can throw to.
Well, and 2 preseason all-conference guys at that. Both of those guys, Senecal and Ashlock, were preseason all-Mountain West at the wide receiver position. So very well thought of around the league. Let's flip the side to the defensive side of the ball. Dennis Thurman going to run your defense, and he's got some absolute animals on that field. And we talked about this last year. Peter Manuma plays with such incredible energy. How does that help your team? He's a productive guy. He's going to get his tackles. He's going to make pass breakups. But the way this guy carries himself on a football field is elite.
Yeah, it is. He's a guy 4th year into the program. Started as a true freshman. He's a every down guy. Gets us lined up. Smart football player, but also physical. I mean, he's the epitome of when you watch Hawaii football with the Polynesian and the long hair falling down and a guy flying and hitting people and moving around the field. I mean, that's what you recognize. We are identified with a guy like Peter in the backfield, and so very proud of that young man. He last year he was here doing media day, but he's about to if not, I didn't get the call yet, but he's about to have his first child.
Good for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's incredible.
To him.
That's incredible.
Married his high school love in the off season, and very small, intimate wedding. But yeah, they're about to have their first child, and so I'm very happy. Yeah, very, very happy.
He's about to have a very busy fall.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Another guy that'll be busy for you, Jemai Otis, who was on this set yesterday. He's going to wear the green dot. He's going to get you guys lined up correctly. Why does he deserve and is worthy of that responsibility?
Yeah, Jemai is he's a captain out there. He's our leader. He gets us going. He's very vocal. He's at the center of contact. He's going to play downhill very fast. As you can see, he's a sideline to sideline runner, but he has the physical capability to be in the gaps, stuffing holes, and then he's going to get us lined up. Smart football player, we love his athletic ability. He's going to be next to another a senior guy in Jalen Smith, who we're very high on as well as at the will linebacker position. Flies around with the best of them. And so those are two really athletic linebackers that we got there in the core.
And then at cornerback, you have Verdell Edwards II. He missed all of 2024 due to injuries. How is he coming into this new season?
Yeah, it's God's timing. I mean, he, learning going through his injury the year before, he's a starter for us. And last year we had all conference guys like Cam Stone and Caleb Brown that really held down the corners for us, and so it allowed him to just kind of heal up. And when we have a need at corner now, as those two guys left, Verdell Edwards steps back in and perfect timing. And so we look forward to his leadership and his experience and going out there and helping us shut down receivers, some of the best ones that are in the Mountain West.
We love to hear it. Coach Timmy Chang, thank you so much for joining us here on set for Football Media Days. Great to hear what's going on behind the scenes for your Hawaii football team.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's always an honor being here.
You're the man.
Appreciate
Timmy Chang, the head coach of the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.